Hey everyone! I hope everybody had a great Christmas. As you noticed, Lisa and I were off for a couple of days. We decided to take some absolute downtime and no posts. So we are getting back at it, of course, and just before the new year, of course, like just before the new year when everybody starts to make those resolutions and set new goals and all of the things that everybody does. So today I wanted to talk a little about your mindset because we are coming up on what is traditionally the great big reset for the new year. Personally, I don't do resolutions. I have a plan. I have goals. I have intentions. I set them. We're going to talk about that as we go through this live today. But really what I wanted to talk about, and as you can see where the title is, why are you holding yourself back from improving your health and wellness? So I wanted to examine some of the mindset behind why we self-sabotage and why we don't feel we deserve better. And I'm going to give you guys some insight to that and things that you can actually start doing today to make a change. So, you know, I get that when I say this, it sounds a little bit harsh, but sometimes tough love is required. We do it with our children, we do it with our spouses, we do it with coworkers when we're setting boundaries. We do it all the time. The thing is, are we doing it with ourselves? So when we look at why we do what we do, most people will come up with 1,000 excuses about why they can't work out, why they can't eat properly, why they can't make a meal plan, why they can't go to bed early, why they can't drink water, why they can't stop eating candy, why they have to repetitively go back to eating foods that they know hurt their body, or avoiding the foods that they know they really require because they're more nutrient dense. Now, you guys know Lisa and I, we never talk about diets. We don't believe in diets. We believe in balancing your hormones. We believe in raising the vibration. We believe in, you know, that connection with the vagus nerve, your gut health and your mental health go hand in hand. So for everybody, here's the harshest statement. For everybody who's suffering from anxiety, you're causing your own. You're doing it to yourself. There is absolute ways to dismiss your depression, your anxiety, all of the things. You guys all know my background, coming back and clearing and getting rid of my complex PTSD, my depression, my anxiety, traumatic grief, suicidal thoughts, all of it. It's gone. It took work. So here's the key of why we don't feel, or why we keep self-sabotaging it, and I wrote it in the title, is because you don't think you deserve better. Now, when you're watching this, you may sit there and go, well, that's not true. I treat myself to all the things. Great. But are you treating yourself to things like shopping, alcohol, junk food, dinners out? Are you like, it's all avoidance, right? Like, are you filling that space with other things to really avoid what you're feeling? To really digging deep. Now, science has proven that journaling will actually help you move forward towards your goals because it helps you get rid of all the negative shit that's in your brain. Meditation actually has scientifically proven shrink the amygdala. I always say that wrong. But that's like your stress, like where the stress hormone is produced, and there's that little gland in the back of your head. Meditation actually shrinks it so that your stress and anxiety literally shrink to nothing with meditation. So when you ask yourself about, am I doing all of the easy things that I can do to stop self-sabotaging myself? Usually the answer is no. So this is a deep conversation I want to get into, because most people will say, well, you know, like I need to lose weight. I need to do this. I need to do that. But here's the difference. Needing to do something and wanting to do something, that stems from, here's the first thing we need to tackle. your beliefs. Okay, so whether you're believing whatever, what it comes down to, your limiting beliefs are the beliefs that you're holding on to that are probably not serving you. Now, we grow up with our beliefs from our grandparents. They got them from their parents, so your great-grandparents. So if you look at generationally coming down the line, great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, you, what you told your children, those are generational beliefs. And nobody ever poo-poos those. Everybody always goes, well, it's just what our family believes. It's just how I am. It's just what I do. Excuse, excuse, excuse for avoidance, avoidance, and avoidance. Now, I'll share this quick little story because I like to use myself as an example. Year and a half ago when I split with my ex, there was, he was a friend, but I also dated him way back in high school. So long time ago. And we started hanging out, and I kept saying, not dating, nothing serious, I just got out of a 9-year relationship, I'm not looking for more. Did he hear anything I had to say? No. When I called him out on his behavior, his answer would always be like, oh, that's just how I am. That's the biggest line of bullshit I've ever heard. So here's the thing. If you're not going to take it from a guy that you're, is trying to date you, why do you take it from yourself? Because every woman will do that. Well, it's just, this is what I do. It's just how I am. So here's the other thing, that our limiting beliefs come from our peers, our parents, social media, our spouses, close friends. And that I say this with very trepidation. Those close friends who are jealous of you trying to make a change. Because they will sabotage you every which way till Sunday. Because they know and they can see that you're making a change, and they don't want that because they're comfortable with where you are in this present moment. Now, the question is, if you're uncomfortable with where you are, that's a sure sign that you need to get yourself moving forward. Okay? So what does that look like? If you're starting to look at what your emotions are during any conversation, look at any time you talk about a subject and you get angry, pissed off, resentful, any of those lower vibration emotions, that's a trigger for you to take a look at why. Why are you angry about that situation? What is it that's triggering you? These are the things that we need to look at. And this is one of the things why people stay stuck, is because they refuse to take the time to journal out what they're feeling. They refuse to take the time away from Netflix or any other streaming service to figure out what is my emotion, or sit with it. It's uncomfortable, guys. Going through the emotions is uncomfortable. You have to have somebody in your corner to get you and guide you through what's really a tough situation. Because it's not easy to sit there and go, yeah, I'm just going to feel all this junk in my body, and where's it going to go? It has to go somewhere. It has to go out. But normally what we do, and this is why you're like, well, I don't deserve to feel better, so I'm gonna cover it in junk and chocolate and shopping, and I'm gonna not pay attention to it. I'm gonna watch 7 hours of Netflix, and I'm gonna doom scroll on my phone so that I don't have to pay attention to how I'm feeling. Okay, that's one. The other thing is when we absolutely fill ourselves with so much noise that we don't have the time to think. So this is where, when we put together, Lisa and I put together our coaching programs, it's like we're trying to get you to open up the space. We're trying to get you to understand that these emotions are in there, and that's what's holding you back, because it all comes down to your self-worth. And everybody's going to sit there and go, oh, I feel good about myself. Do you? Because the way you live your life and the way you look in your life is how you feel about yourself in your life. So if you're struggling with whatever, still, repetitively, We get this all the time. We'll have people come to us and go, yeah, we want your coaching. And then all of a sudden they're like, it's handed right there. It's right there ready to go. And they're, oh, no, I'll do it myself. Lisa and I have lost track of how many people have said to us, oh, we'll just do it ourselves. But they never do it because they don't feel worth anything. They don't feel worth their time. This is like, this falls into people pleasing as well. So if you're not acknowledging the emotions that go with what you're doing, you're never going to move past those. Ever. So the other thing we want to look at is the deeper issues of your self-worth and where they come from. Again, meditation and journaling. I'm going to keep on this. I'm going to say on this, because those are the two things that really make a massive difference. Scientifically proven, spiritually proven. We all see the difference. We all have those friends who meditate and journal every day, and they're all copacetic and they're bound. And you sit there and go, how come they're succeeding? Because they're doing the work. Now, you may not feel like you're worth it in the beginning, but if you just start, I'm going to get into an action plan in a few minutes. If you just start, those feelings of self-worth actually grow. I get you. I've been there. I've actually been that person where it's like I didn't feel worthy of anything. And it wasn't and hence my relationship of 9 years when he treated me like crap. And I was like, and every time I'm like, why am I doing this? What's the payout? So here's the fun part. This is where you have to get really honest about your dark side. I stayed in that relationship because the payoff was me actually seeing the world. We traveled all over the world. Majority of the time, he paid. So I got to kind of see most of the world for free. Not free, because there's an emotional baggage that went with that. The emotional payout was there. I allowed it. So when you think about, oh, well, I'm just doing it because, you're doing it for a reason. You got to dig deep into yourself to find out what that reason is for yourself, and then be honest with it. Write it down. You don't have to share it with anybody, but write it down so that you know why you're doing what you're doing. What is the payoff? Okay? One of the things I talk about, and this comes to the third thing you want to look at, and this is until you actually understand this part, you're never going to move forward, because it's not saying never. I should never say never, but it'd be very difficult to move forward, is if you refuse to take responsibility and accountability for your part in it. You have to understand that from the age of 10, you have to start taking responsibility. We're adults. So here's the payoff. You get attention. This is a harsh one for a lot of people. Nobody likes to hear it. And if you're probably listening to this and a little bit pissed off, I've hit a trigger. You want to ask yourself why. Okay, if I haven't hit a trigger, awesome. You're taking responsibility for yourself and accountability for your actions. So when we don't, that payoff is attention, which is a drama cycle. We all have them. I used to have mine. I've shared this before. Put myself into my own financial drama cycle every month. It's like, oh my God, I spent too much. I shouldn't have bought those books. I shouldn't have bought those shoes. Oh my God. But I was shopping to avoid the emotions that I was feeling from the grief. I was shopping to avoid eating, because if I didn't shop, I would eat. Right? So until you stop that, which then of course put me into my own drama cycle, which then allowed me to complain to my friends, which got attention. And then the adrenaline hit from that kept me going. Vicious cycle. That, my friends, is a vicious cycle. So when you repetitively do things that you think are normal, or think that, no, it's just what I do, those are habits. Those are the habits that you've created in order to keep yourself in a vicious cycle, in order to keep you in a drama cycle, in order to keep yourself in attention, in order to avoid taking responsibility for your actions. Vicious cycle. Now, when you change that and you go, oh, okay, no more. Can't spend all the money. Can't watch Netflix for 7 hours. Can't doom scroll on my phone. I'm going to just make a meal plan. I'm going to actually work out every single day because I like it and I want to, my body needs it, my brain needs it, my emotions require it, and I'm going to make sure like I go to bed early, all the things that are simple, but you rail against all of them. And this is like where the inner child work comes. It's a whole nother video, guys. Whole nother video of inner child work. So until you stop making excuses and start actually producing a solution. So this is where people will fall into problem opposed to solution. And everybody does it. They'll focus on the problem all the time, like focus. And you guys know this from like every single manifesting thing that's out there on the internet. The more you focus on something, the bigger the problem becomes. Or you just spin it around and be like, okay, great, problem. Write it down. Here's your plan of action. Write it down and then try to come up with a solution. And then if you can't, you go ask for help. Google, YouTube. YouTube University is a beautiful place. I don't know why more people don't go there. It's really awesome. So until you're willing to switch your focus into solution-based opposed to problem-based, and again, this brings us back to the feelings of self-worth or lack of. We keep ourselves, we don't want to look for a problem, like or a solution for our problem. We want to focus on the problem because then what happens is then we still can live within our limiting beliefs. That's the number one thing we have to work on. Then we can avoid having to look deeper into what our emotions are. And then we don't have to take responsibility. Hence our drama cycle, which is our vicious cycle, right? So here's what we're going to do. I have notes. I got smart today. When you look to move from a vicious cycle into a virtuous cycle, we start to look at solving the problem. Don't worry what the problem is. There's always a solution. You may not know it yet. Every problem is solvable. Everything you know have to go to work against, you can look it up. Google is a thing. Now, there's a lot of information out there. I get it. But again, when I say that, and if your first thought is, oh my God, there's so much information, you put yourself into problem mode opposed to solution mode. The solution is you're starting to look for something. The solution is you're going to like write it down. The solution is make a list. So this is where we want to start when we move ourselves from a vicious cycle. I used to make lists when I was like back in the day. I used to make lists all the time. Make a plan and then plan and then work the plan. So if you're having to there's what you want to do is take your journal and write down all the things that you need to work on and then put them in a category and then just pick one. Then you're going to take that one thing and you're going to make a list of make a little plan of okay, how do I make this change? Give yourself 3 things that you can do. And then you're going to start with the first one, right? All you have to do is 1 action step per day or week. Because for some of you guys, if your anxiety is really high, your stress is really high, again, I said this at the beginning of the video, you've created your own stress and anxiety. We all do. So we're able to actually stop our stress and anxiety by doing the simple things. So here's the simplest thing you can start with. 1 minute of journaling. 1 minute of meditation. That's it. Just start there. So every day you're just going to grab your piece of paper and be okay, this is the things I feel the crappiest about. Or this is the things I feel joyous about. Or both. And then just sit with those thoughts. Sit with your intention for 1 minute and just focus on your breathing. Okay, so as we talked about, that breathing, that breath work will actually start to decrease the glands that produce the stress so that you're actually feeling less stressed. So when you've got everything broken down into a plan that you can see, and then you start working the plan, everything becomes solvable. Everything. Everything is figure-outable. It's a word I made up. It's not even real. But everything is figure-outable. Now, here's the difference. If you sit there and go, I can't figure it out, and then you complain about it, That's your drama cycle kicking in. So then now you see where that drama cycle kicks in, and then you're like, whoa, 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 I need to break this. Breaking a drama cycle is a lot of work, and it's very, very hard because it gives us the adrenaline hit that we're so used to. So when I say adrenaline hit, it's the same as like the sugar hit, or if you're, drug addicts when they take hit of cocaine and they're like, wah, got it. Or the sugar rush that you get. Your drama when you're building it up and like that adrenaline hit, it's real. Like it's a chemical response in the body that you've created. It's real. And there's withdrawal from that. This is why I say, guys, this is a lot of work. You have to be able to put in the work, and you have to be able to recognize, first and foremost, what your beliefs are. So in order to make that change, we're going to write down, what are your beliefs? Are they your beliefs, or are they generational beliefs that have come with you? Do they sit with you? Are they heart aligned? Okay. So this is what I'm doing for this year. I'm sitting down and I'm writing down who I want to be. How do I want to show up? Where do I feel that I need to change? What do I need to look at? You guys can all do the same thing. Like I say, I don't do resolutions, but I do intentions and goals. My goals are I still look at some of the beliefs that I have. Are they truly mine? Or do they come from my parents and grandparents? Do they serve me? Are they worth it? Are the people in my life helping me grow, or are they stagnating me? Okay, I will tell you through this journey that I've had myself, where I've come from like a hole in the ground to where I am now. I've lost people along the way, and I've gained others. So I focus on the people I've gained, because they help bring me up to be the better person I want to be. So we're going to make a list of our limiting beliefs. We're going to make a list of the things we want to achieve. We're going to break it into small bits. And then we're going to take one action plan per day or per week, depending on what that action plan is. So this is the last sentence I've got. I was reading my notes. Think about this statement. When you say you want something, like I'm going to use one of my private clients. I've been working with her for quite some time, off and on, and I've known her since I was pregnant with my daughter. And she says it all the time. Yeah, I really need to lose weight. I need to get healthy. My body's breaking down. I need to do this. Here's the kicker. At no point has she ever said, I want to be better. I want to do this for me. So think about when you're doing something, when you're saying this. Are you saying, oh, I need to? Or are you saying, I want to? So here's what I would talk about being aligned, heart-centered with yourself. Be heart-centered with you and aligned with who you are. And until you get real about taking responsibility and accountability for the actions that put you to where you are, it's very difficult to make that change. So when I question people and they say it, oh, like I've got to, I have to lose weight, or I have to eat better, or I have to like work out, or I have to whatever. I'm telling you, every time in my whole history, 27 years, every time I've gone to a party and people find out what I do for a living, first thing out of their mouth is, oh yeah, I'm just snacking tonight, but I have to lose 10 pounds. A, it's Friday night, I don't care. And I'm probably, snacking just as much as they are. But B, don't say things that you don't mean. Your body's listening to every single thing that you say. Talk to it with love. Talk to it with intention. Talk to it in your journaling. Talk to it in your meditation. Every cell of your body listens to what you're saying. And I will tell you, I think you're all worth it. And it's just you coming around to the belief that you're also worth it. Guys, that's me today for Coach's Corner. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I do not have a handout for you guys, but if you want, I could try to probably put something together like a journal, but you probably already have a journal. I use these. They're pretty quick and easy. I brought this with me, actually, because you can't find these in Costa Rica. Or maybe I did buy it here. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a simple notebook. Nothing fancy. Just write down your thoughts and start figuring out what your beliefs are, and then figure out where you want to go, and then make a plan, and then take one action step. And that's it. Guys, like I said, Post comments below. You know what to do. Hit the love button and hit the like button so this stays in the feed so other people in the group can see it. And thank you for your time. Oh, and Happy New Year.